And they had built a reminder push into that workflow that they did when they first did those pushes, saying, hey, you entered, don't forget you can enter again today. So 24 hours later, people were getting that reminder push once they had entered the contest. And it was working really well. So the reminder, it was automated, it was a push, so of course push is a lot easier to do than email, much less time to create. They were getting 44% click-throughs on that. So that seems like a win. How can we do more of this? So they kind of took a step back and thought about, as we move forward with this, what are we going to do in order to be able to incorporate what we see as successful and not, again, have more bandwidth on their CRM team, as well as any distractions from, again, their main focus of selling tickets. Well, they knew push notifications worked. They knew that that reminder workflow, that reminder push that came the day after somebody entered the contest worked, so they wanted to do more of that. And then in order to make sure that new people were finding out about it, instead of sending some dedicated emails, they were incorporating the information into existing emails where they were selling, kind of using some of the real estate within that in order to drive new people to participate in the contest. And of course, they know that personalization is always going to be really important in getting people engaged, and so they wanted to personalize. So those are kind of the 4 things that they thought about with their new strategy, how we're going to make this thing be successful for us. They're doing the push, they're using rich push. They see much greater conversion on rich push. I think 3.5 times more click-throughs on rich push than regular. So if you haven't been incorporating that into some of your push notifications, definitely worth testing and seeing if you can make more conversions happen for you. And then personalizing it to the user's location. They, again, have contests in New York, LA, Dallas, and then there's a national one. So wants to make sure that if you're in the New York area, you're seeing the New York contest opportunities. That reminder, they saw that that one of them worked, so they thought, well, let's see if we add more so that we can continue to keep people engaged in the contest throughout. So in addition to the 24-hour one, so once you've entered, you get a push reminder, hey, you can enter again. They added one in case you entered and you didn't participate in 24 hours, like at 48 hours, like, hey, don't forget. So they added that one in. And then they added a last chance. They always see that that last chance for anything tends to drive a lot of participation, so they're having that last chance push as well. And doing it in a workflow, so again, it just happens week after week after week. They also knew that they wanted to make this a fairly light lift for their engineers, because once you get engineers involved, now it takes more time and they have to build APIs and they complain, and I'm sorry if there's any engineers in the room, but that's the way that it works. So they were looking to make that easier, so they're just using the event data from somebody participating in order to trigger this, and that gave them a lot more flexibility if they want to be making some changes, because it's all based on like, hey, somebody participated, we know this, now we can action off of that. So a lighter lift for engineering and giving them more flexibility as well. The personalization, because of the 4 different types of contests, again, the 3 different cities plus the national, and the fact that there are people who maybe need to upgrade the app or don't, there's really 8 combinations of types of messaging that they want to be able to send out. And so they needed to figure out how they could do that and build those cohorts into the data that they had for their users, and used a data feed. So again, a relatively light engineering lift for them. And when they, or if they decide to make more different cohorts in the future, something that they can do so that, again, if you're in Chicago, you're going to get maybe the national contest. If you're in Dallas, you're going to get the contest reminder for whatever the Dallas one is. Same thing for LA and same thing for New York. So here we are several months later. They've just recently released their Android version of this as well. How is it working for them? Well, looking back on January, you saw on a typical week in a contest, day 1, there'd be big entries, and then it would tail off over the course of time. By April, when they had implemented all of these new concepts in the reminder workflow, you're seeing that you've got the initial day 1, still some good participation, day 2, 3, 4, 5, that little spike again when that last chance reminder goes out to folks. And so you're seeing just overall, it's got that much bigger participation because they're being able to communicate with people. And again, the ultimate goal, keeping SeatGeek more top of mind, having people engage with their brand so that they can be selling more tickets. Just to give you a sense, we talked about the fact that 44% click-through rate on that 24-hour reminder, that is what they were seeing at 44%. The 48-hour reminder push has got a 28% click-through rate. And then on the last chance, they're seeing like a 16% click-through rate. Some of the top ones that they have at SeatGeek in terms of the conversions that they're getting out of these. I don't know, for those of you who do some of this stuff, what these numbers look like to you, but this is super successful, and again, is driving all of that conversion and that awareness that they're looking for. They found they had an unexpected benefit as well. Once people enter the contest, it prompts users who don't have push enabled to turn on push. So that option to, hey, make sure you get reminded that you can enter again, is driving people to turn push notifications back on, which obviously can be helpful for all the rest of the messaging that they want to be doing to those users to help drive those purchases. Again, end goal of SeatGeek. SeatGeek, and Steve is actually here from SeatGeek, so feel free to ask him some questions about this afterwards. So Steve, wave your hand up here. But again, I'm Michelle Novak from Iterable, and partnership between the two of us working really well because they needed to maintain awareness and just keep people engaged. So they created a contest. They're using Rich Push, which is helping increase engagement. They have the workflows for reminder pushes, so there's a pretty light lift from the CRM team having to manage this on a regular basis. All that data flexibility that they have really means limited engineering involvement, and that personalization, being really able to leverage all the data they have about their customers, they're able to better communicate with them, right message, right time to the right person. And that's what we do at Iterable. We have a SaaS-based platform that allows you to do email, push, SMS, in-app, a couple other things that are still coming, tie-in for Facebook and direct mail as well. So it's a SaaS-based platform that really allows you to leverage your data so that you can build very customized, personalized journeys for people. We've got some folks in the back of the room. We appreciate the chance to be here. I'm also here for the rest of the time, so grab me on the coffee break or talk to Steve from SeatGeek himself, and we'd love to talk to you. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Michelle.